Las Vegas saya daw Taṇhā paccayā Upādānaṃ. Now, let's continue with Taṇhā paccayā Upādānaṃ. Because there is craving as a condition, clinging arises. Here, clinging Upādānaṃ means intense craving. It's strong attachment or firm grasping. As an example, a person may start smoking. In the beginning, they're not attached to the smoking, right? They could go an entire day without smoking, but later on, they get intense craving for a cigarette. They feel restless and uncomfortable when they can't smoke. It's the same thing with drinking alcohol or using heroin. When a person attaches to these things and can't get them, they feel uncomfortable, right? This is Upādānaṃ, or intense craving, strong attachment. Craving becomes Upādānaṃ. Why does craving become Upādānaṃ? Because you don't stop it early on. Back at Vedana there was feeling, right? Instead of stopping the feeling, you let it connect with Taṇhā, which becomes stronger and stronger. For this reason, we have to stop craving right away. We need to stop it at Vedana. It's for this reason that Satipatthana, the foundations of mindfulness meditation, teaches us that whatever you see, let it be just seeing. In the same way, whatever you hear, let it be just hearing. Just stop it right there. Don't allow feeling to become craving, or Taṇhā. Upādānaṃ is of 4 kinds. We already studied this in the 3rd book, but now we're going to talk about it again. What are the 4 kinds? 1. Clinging to sense desires, Kamupādānaṃ. 2. Clinging to false views, Ditthupādānaṃ. 3. Clinging to rites and rituals, or wrong, evil precepts and practices, i.e., the actions of dogs and cattle, or Silabbatupadana. 4. Clinging to self, or ego belief, Attavadupādānaṃ. There are these 4 kinds of Upādānaṃ, or clinging. Kamupādānaṃ. The first one is clinging to sense desires. What does sense desire mean? Here, it means clinging to visible objects, sounds, smells, tastes, and touches. This is sense desire. 92. Taṇhā paccayā Upādānaṃ. Let's look at some examples involving the eye. Some people are attached to movies. They have to watch movies every day. They might buy movies every day and then immediately go home to watch them. They can even stay up the whole night watching movies. This is because they're attached to watching movies. They might have trouble falling asleep if they don't watch a movie first, right? This is an example of craving becoming clinging. A person might pay $10 or $20 for a movie. They don't care how much it is. They'll buy it. But if they weren't attached to seeing the movie, they might not buy it, right? As another example, there might be someone we want to see. We might want to see them so much that we'll fly to another state or even another country to see them. It might be our boyfriend or girlfriend, right? We're willing to do this because we're attached to seeing them. We want to see them, right? And this is why we feel we have to go. Craving becomes clinging. Some people are attached to sports, maybe football, soccer, or baseball. When a game is on, they won't go anywhere because they don't want to miss the game. I once had a lady who told me that she liked to practice meditation and preferred to be alone, but that her husband always wanted her to sit close to him on the sofa while he watched football. Who knows, they might divorce one day. Do you understand what I'm saying about being attached to visible objects? People also attach to sounds. They want to hear from someone, or they get attached to songs or music. It's not merely a matter of being attached to visible objects or sounds, though, right? We also get attached to the things or the people that these objects or sounds belong to. For example, you might want to see a movie. You're attached to seeing that movie, but then you decide that you have to buy a big television to watch the movie on. In the same way, you might attach to a song and then feel that you need to buy a nice stereo to play the music on. It's not just a song you're attached to, right? You might also attach to the person who sings the song. Oh, I love her music. In addition to liking her songs, you like her too, right? We get attached to smells too. Some people insist on applying special scents or perfumes to their bodies or using them in their homes. They only want to use their favorite scents too. Because they're attached to a specific scent, that's all they'll use. And in the same way as I just described, we might not merely get attached to the scents themselves. 93 Las Vegas sayadaw, we might also attach to who or what they belong to. We attach to these things or people too. We also get attached to tastes. Some people won't eat any types of meat except for their very favorites, maybe pork or fish or beef. Every day, they want to eat nothing but their favorite foods. They're attached to these dishes. They also get attached to drinks. Whenever they take a meal, they have to drink something that's very appealing to them. They're attached. Perhaps a person has been drinking the same favorite drink for many years. Or perhaps they've been eating their favorite meal their entire life. They've gotten very attached. Craving has become clinging. If they can't have these favorite things, they'd rather not eat or drink. In extreme cases, they might even lose sleep over it, right? They feel they absolutely must have their favorite foods or drinks all the time. It's not just about food or drink, right? We might also get attached to the person who prepares these things for us. This is clinging. For example, a husband may love to eat the meals his wife cooks for him. Oh, very tasty. If someone else prepares a meal for him, he might not like it. Even if his wife is a terrible cook, he might still prefer it over someone else's cooking. This is because he's attached. Can you see how it's not just about the food or drink itself? We can also attach to a person associated with these things. Someone might say, "Who cooked this?" Although the food is no good, the other person might lie and say, "Your wife cooked it," and the person says, "Oh, great." The quality of the food might not really matter because the husband is attached to his wife having prepared it. Can you see how there's this tendency to want to have the things we like the best every day? This is clinging. We have to eat and drink and have these things every day. See how craving Taṇhā becomes clinging. Upādānaṃ. How about touches or tangible objects? We attach to the touch of our favorite chair, our bed, and our favorite clothes, right? Whatever touches your body. Oh, I love the feel of this shirt. You enjoy the comfortable touch of these things and get attached. Wherever we go, we want to wear that favorite shirt, right? Because we're attached to the feel of that piece of clothing, we don't want to wear anything else. It's not only about the touching itself either. We also get attached to the person touching us, especially when it's the opposite gender. What I mean is that we're attached to more than the touch itself. We also attach to the man or woman who's touching us. Craving becomes clinging. 94 Taṇhā paccayā Upādānaṃ. So I've been explaining clinging to sense desires, or Upādānaṃ. Dependent on Taṇhā craving, there arises Upādānaṃ clinging. This is strong attachment. Upādānaṃ. There is also clinging to false views. We already studied this in the second chapter of the first book when we studied Taṇhā. What sorts of views do those with false view have? They think that the act of giving is without benefit. They don't think that almsgiving or charity is good. They think it's a useless waste of their property. This is false view. It is incorrect. These people don't want to give anything to charity. Of course, they also think that making offerings on a large scale is useless. They see no good in giving a lot of money to support society or religion. We already studied this, right? It's false view. Sometimes we offer presents for one's birthday or for Christmas, right? People with wrong view think this is useless. There are lots of examples of this. There are also those who think that good and bad behaviors don't produce results. They think that you should just do whatever you want to do in life. If it's good, no results. And if it's bad, no results. Some people might also consider their mother or father unimportant. What I mean is that they don't see any need to show respect for or honor their parents. Likewise, they feel there are no results in having done good or bad things toward their parents. There are people who don't believe in this world or another world. By this world, I'm referring to our human world. For example, they don't believe that a celestial being can die and be reborn in our world. And by another world, I mean that they believe that there's no other plane of existence for us to be reborn in after we die. They think that life just ends at death. Some people also fail to believe in spontaneously born beings. They reject the existence of spontaneously born beings like gods, Brahmas, celestial beings, and hell beings. By spontaneously born beings, I'm referring to beings who don't begin their lives spending many months in a mother's womb. Spontaneously born female beings begin life at the equivalent of about 16 years old, while males begin at the equivalent of about 20 years old. A person with wrong view doesn't believe any of this. They reject these statements. 95. Las Vegas Sayadaw. A person with wrong view also refuses to believe that there are monks who practice well and gain enlightenment. They refuse to accept that there are beings who can know about this and other worlds through direct knowledge. But people holding these views have wrong view. If a person has strong attachment to views like this, what might they do? As they don't believe in future lives, they might see no value in doing good things, right? And as they don't believe in the existence of hell, they don't see a point in avoiding engaging in bad things. See? This is because of their false views. What do we call this in Pali? Upādānaṃ, or clinging to false views. Sila Upādānaṃ. There are also people who cling to rites and rituals. Really what I'm talking about here is clinging to wrong precepts. These people practice like dogs or oxen. We already studied this too, right? Since the time of the Buddha, there have been people who believed that practicing as if one was a dog or a cow like an animal would lead to liberation. If not liberation, they felt that they'd at least be reborn in the celestial world. Practicing like a dog or cattle is clinging to wrong precepts. What do they call this in Pali? Sila Upādānaṃ. Sila is precepts. In this case, we're referring to wrong, evil precepts. When it comes to ways of practice, there have been so many techniques employed by people since the time of the Buddha. Some of these are very strange. Briefly, though, I would like you to know that any practice that is divorced from the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path is considered Sila Upādānaṃ. It is incorrect practice. On the other hand, if it's in line with the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, then it's correct. Except for these two ways, other practices are wrong. Whatever way a person practices, consider whether or not it's in line with the Four Noble Truths. Likewise, especially consider whether it accords with the Noble Eightfold Path. What's the Noble Eightfold Path? It's right understanding, right thinking, and so on. It consists of sila, samadhi, and paccayā. Some practices have sila and samadhi too, but they might lack wisdom. We are here to realize the intrinsic nature of mind and matter, which requires wisdom, paccayā. For this reason, I say that any practice that is divorced from the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path is considered Sila Upādānaṃ. 96 Taṇhā paccayā, Upādānaṃ Attavādupadana. The last one is clinging to self or ego belief. There have been so many different ways that people have thought about the ego since the time of the Buddha. Some of them think that the ego is the owner of the five aggregates. The first aggregate is rupa, right? They think that when you walk or take something, that is, any physical action you do, it is done because of the power of the ego. Some people think like this. When it comes to Vedana, there are people who think that we feel happy or unhappy, pleasant or unpleasant, because the ego feels that way. Likewise, they think that we remember or memorize things because the ego remembers or memorizes. And if we do good or bad things, which is sankhara khandha, it is believed that it's ego that motivates us to do so. In the same way, they believe that seeing or hearing is just a function of the ego. That is, it's the ego that sees or hears. See? They think that ego is the owner of the five aggregates. This is clinging to ego belief. Some people believe that this ego can control everything. They think it possesses free will. Some feel that it exists permanently in the physical body, and that even when we die and the body is cremated or buried, the permanent and imperishable ego continues on. But the Buddha taught anatta, right? He said rupam anatta, vedana anatta, and so on. There is no soul, no ego. We cannot control our body, our feelings, our perceptions, our mental formations, or our consciousness. It is their nature to arise and disappear. We can't control them. Do you recall those lines, Rupam Anatta, Vedana Anatta, and so on from our daily chanting? These four kinds of clinging arise from craving. If there's no craving, there's no clinging. Taṇhā paccayā Upādānaṃ, 97.